Sun Devils in the gold, and it's the Zags that have the game's first possession. Entry pass, a little bit low for Huff, and the Zags turn it over on their first possession. And Arizona State starting five, Odom at four in the backcourt. Two guys up front. Burbovich, Truitt, and Jop. Three right side. Arizona State can find that three ball. They get it from Burbovich to start the game. And a quick response right back by the Zags.
Arizona State capable of playing at a very high level in this building. We've seen it time and time again with a number of Bobby Hurley coach teams. They feed off this crowd, and it's kind of a mutual relationship. If they can make buckets, keep the crowd locked in, they've got just as good a chance as any.
Odom, it fell off the front rim, but there was Truitt. The transfer from the University of San Diego. They're just starting five for the Zags. For a lineup for Mark Few that can really go 10-12 deep if they need to. Huff, back out, Miller. The former Arizona State Sun Devil from last year has returned with the Zags this year. And this is his first shot. And there is Mark Few. His Zags 3-0. You know, he doesn't ever like to show his cards, but I think he's pretty happy with the way his team has started this year.
He has to be, and we talked to him earlier today. They're extremely balanced. We talk about playing from inside out. They use their bigs. They've got great ball handlers, and they've got great shooters on the perimeter. This is one of his most balanced teams ever.
The crowd kind of booing Miller in his return. Miller scores in the lane. Miller said, hey, I got nothing against Arizona State and the Sun Devils. I got my degree from there. Nothing but love.
Not a lot of love right now from the fan base. Either you're with us or you're against us.
Just about 2 minutes in. Ford chased out. Quick pass, big hands, quick hands there by Braden Smith to create the turnover. Inachinte, he gets in the lane. Fires one up and scores. Emmanuel Inachinte with his first bucket.
And that's one of the things that makes the Zags so tough, is the way they defend this year. I was very impressed with them. Got out to some big leads against Creighton, against Oklahoma, and still out pressuring the Rock when they're up 20. You see that kind of intensity, you know that's something you can build on.
Ford looking for some room. He shoots over Miller. And knocks down a three. A contested look that goes in.
You want to hang around, knock down the three ball. Arizona State coming out hot from beyond the arc.
Ike keeps, now finally gives it up to Smith. Miller, the lefty lets it go. Bounces around and it comes into the heel, and that's going to bring the possession arrow into play. Arizona State ball.
Right here, this is end of possession, under 10 seconds, nobody's open. Little step back a la James Harden, an old Sun Devil legend right there. Ford knocks it down.
Ford off to a hot start behind the arc. He had 5 of his first 10 coming in and nails that one to get his night off and rolling. The pressure, they get it across into the front court. 2-point lead in the ball here early for the Sun Devils.
You see Gonzaga really extending their defense. Every ball screen, the big man's out in a trap situation. Sun Devils are looking a little frantic here, see if they can settle down.
3 from the big man shot. It's too long. Truitt tried to save it, did so, but the shot clock expired, and it goes over to Gonzaga. Season 11 for Bobby Hurley here in Tempe. Second all-time winningest coach in school history with 170 wins.
Really brought the intensity back to the Arizona State basketball program. Some great teams, great performances.
Huff bangs into Truitt. Lost the ball. Taken away, Odom. Moe pulls up his three. Another one. And this is exactly the kind of start Arizona State was looking for.
Talked about taking on a powerhouse team. Now here comes the crowd getting into it. Pure emotion right now in Desert Financial Arena.
Huff trying to go over the top for EK. Dangerous pass. Ford helped out on the defense. It's going to stay with the Zags, but what a start for the Sun Devils.
When you've got the opportunities, you take.
Arizona State just what they needed here for it.
They're in a situation where there's no pressure on them. They feel like they've got a lot to prove. You know, talking with Coach Hurley today, he likes his team. He thinks they defend very well, but the three-point shot has been their best friend here in the opening minutes. See if things can settle down for the Zags and they can start to get some good looks. A couple of turnovers early for the Bulldogs.
EK step back, long three with the shot clock winding down and left it short.
And Mark, that's not a good shot. That's a panic shot because he hasn't had touches. They can get a much better look than that.
Odom. And Smith hit the deck, but there's the long arms of EK, and on the run, Inachinte. EK trying to go underneath, back out. Miller, pull up, long two. That's short.
Give the Sun Devils a lot of credit. They're contesting the jump shot and they're rebounding.
Well off the left side that time. The Sun Devils hit 3 of their first 4 three-point attempts to start the game, but a miss there.
Gurvovich had more time. He got the defender in the air, and then he rushed the shot. Had a wide open look, but right now, things going well for the Sun Devils.
Arizona State now 3 of 6 three-point shooting. Gonzaga's missed their first 3 from beyond the arc. Roxy Fran, thanks very much, and you join us out here on the West Coast. And a Braden Huff 3 for Gonzaga. They had missed their first 3 three-point shots of the game. They hit one there and cut the Arizona State lead down to 2, along with former Arizona Wildcat Corey Williams. I'm Mark Healy, and Odom 3 in and out. And after the early hot start for Arizona State shooting, they've cooled off.
And both teams doing a good job. Another sloppy turnover there by the Bulldogs. See if the Sun Devils look to capitalize.
Dylan Mukebe is checked in there, number 23 for Arizona State. Young man from Belgium, transfer from Oakland. Got Pig Johnson in the game, gives it up. And Marcus Adams Jr. lays it in. And an assist there for Anthony Pig Johnson.
Beautiful play by Johnson. Took it all the way to the rim and gave it up at the last second. Another turnover for the Bulldogs. Transition for the Sun Devils.
Oh, this time Huff has to block on Pig.
You're going to see Johnson get the ball in the corner, and watch what he does. He has a heads-up move to attack, take it all the way to the rim, little shovel pass, and 2 points for the Sun Devils. High percentage basketball. They're in attack mode. You have to respect the three-point shot. You're going to get opportunities like that.
Great blind pass there for Pig to get the assist. The Sun Devils by 4, a little behind the back dribble. Pig into the corner, and Adams steps back. Put that short off the left rim. Tyon Grant Foster in the game now, number 7. For Gonzaga. Also Steele Venters, number 2. Steele takes a 3. Off the heels, skying for the rebound, Trevor Best. Sun Devils had numbers. Jump! Answers for the Zags.
And that is a huge 3 for the Bulldogs. But right now, it's the Sun Devils feasting on turnovers. One pass to the rim. Showtime here in the desert.
Samba Diop, 7'1". He's a freshman, but he's played quite a bit in Spain. He's somebody that can make a difference in that front court for Arizona State this year.
No question. He had the made three. And now the Zags with the ball.
There's a foul on Lukeba, and it gives the ball back to the Zags. And a drive there by Mario Sansuprides. Has that knocked away? Here's Pig going to the rim, and he gets it to go. Boy, the guy who hasn't played above NAIA level is making a statement here. Anthony Pig Johnson.
And it doesn't matter for him. You know, we talked to him earlier today. That young man is absolutely fearless. Been waiting on a moment in a game like this his whole career.
Arizona State looked like they almost had the tie-up, but they find Huff, and the Zags get the easy bucket down low to pull within 3.
First interior bucket for the Zags of the game, and that's their strength. They've got Huff and Ike out there.
Ooh, hard. Lukeba knocked to the ground by Huff, and it has gotten even a little bit more physical here the last few sequences up and down the floor.
And right now, it's full steam ahead for the Sun Devils in the desert.
Point shooting. Both teams, though, shooting 50% from the field. Zags off to a 6 for 12 start, and Arizona State 7 of 14. You know, we mentioned the 3 wins for Gonzaga, and a couple impressive ones over Oklahoma and Creighton, certainly. Here's an Adams 3 that bounces out. If you want to nitpick, one area the Zags have not been great in the first 3 games has been 3-point shooting. Not as good as they normally do year to year.
Well, they haven't taken a ton of threes,
No.
and that's primarily because their bigs score layups. And until someone stops that, you don't have to resort to your 3. So they have a balanced attack. They do have guys that can knock it down. They've taken a few ill-advised threes here in the first half, but that right there is brilliant execution. Great back screen and lob.
Tyon Grant Foster. That's a young man. He was the WAC Player of the Year last year at Grand Canyon. Now played for his 5th different school. Santiago Truitt trying to get over Venters and shoots it well off the right side. Sansupari took some contact, but for a foul instead. Long outlet, and here comes Pig. Couldn't get the jam. Pig Johnson elevating. He's 6'3". Just couldn't quite slam it home.
And Mark, I love that play for a lot of reasons. A, you've got Gonzaga in the house. There's not going to be any layups. He was coming to block this no matter what, so you have to go strong to the rim. Couldn't put it down, but I love the aggression from both guys, hustling back on defense and taking it strong to the rack.
Pig Johnson, who led the NAIA level in scoring last year with 779 points. He does not lack in confidence.
Not at all. He's not going to be intimidated. He's looking forward to this matchup.
Grant Foster got himself right underneath the bucket and drew the foul. Grant Foster go to the line. Well, one of men's basketball college lineup this Sunday on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. Number 1 Houston takes on number 22 Auburn at 3 Eastern. Then it's Memphis UNLV. And at 8:30 Eastern, Miami squares off against 10th-ranked Florida in Jacksonville on Sunday. Short with the first free throw from Grant Foster. See the career 71%. This is a guy who started at JUCO, went to Kansas, DePaul, Grand Canyon. Now here with Gonzaga thanks to a court injunction. A young man who had to battle some severe heart issues. He's brought himself back, and he looks to be a big piece of this Zags 2025-26 roster.
An experienced player who brings a lot of explosiveness.
Again, Mo Odom knocks down another 3.
Well, you can tell he's in go mode. Has had big games against the Bulldogs before. And there's the offensive foul right in front of Coach Hurley. He wanted that call the second it happened.
Well, Mario sends Super Rehab and get knocked around a bit by the Arizona State defense, and you could see, Corey, it was getting to him.
Yeah, you got to deal with the frustration. Right here, you're going to see the little chicken wing in the chest, and when you extend the forearm, a little bit of acting, little Hollywood, but enough to get the call. Arizona State applying the pressure defensively. Turnovers, something that I know Coach Pugh will address at halftime.
Well, 5 so far here in the first half. Arizona State's mustered 8 points off those 5 turnovers. Jab step, the 2 big men here. Jop and Ike. Vinters helps out. The lefty fires one up, and that's off the mark from Bryce Ford.
And not too many guys are going to back down Ike in the post.
Vinters in and out of bounds to Arizona State. We're midway through this first half in Tempe. Vinters a guy who can certainly knock down that 3. Valuable piece off the bench for Mark Few. West Coast Conference Big 12 matchup here late on this Friday night from the Valley. Some miscommunication there as Urbovich looking like, what happened there? Pig said, you know, that's on me. That's on me. Jalen Warley's in the game now, the transfer from Virginia, number 8 in black for Gonzaga. Grant Foster looking for Ike. He and Chop down in the low post. Dig there by Pig, but that's not going to stop Ike, who lays it in with that left hand.
No, and that's textbook offense right there for the Zags. Get it to Ike on the block. Let him go to work. First time he's really had a one-on-one opportunity in the paint.
Now it's Chop and Ike. This time it's Chop who shoots the long 2 and off the front rim. Grant Foster running the floor, taking it to the rim. It took some contact there and a foul by Gribovich.
Right here, you talk about unstoppable. He has a great left hand. He wants to get to it. You're going to see the crab dribble to the middle, the drop step, and that's all she wrote. Once he gets that angle, he's too big, too strong.
This is the second foul on Arizona State's Andrea Gribovich. And that's going to bring Santiago Truitt back in for Gribovich. Can't hit it, and it stays tied at 20.
First true road game for the Zags. You kind of feel like they've been hit with everything except the kitchen sink, and we're tied.
Yeah, things went about as well as they could through the first 3 or 4 minutes for Arizona State. They were hitting those 3 balls, and now they're not getting them. Truitt tried to buy a foul call, didn't get it. Now the other way, quickly down, laid in by Warley. Timeout, Arizona State. Gonzaga, last lead was at 6-5. They've reclaimed a 2-point lead here with 8.5 minutes left in the first half.
That's a solid timeout by Bobby Hurley. He knows this game's all about momentum, and the Zags do.
Oh. Well, you take a look. Arizona did get one of the votes for first place. There's Houston, though, the decided favorite in the Big 12, and not a lot of respect for Arizona State from the coaches.
I think there's a lot of teams in that poll that are exactly where they want to be. They don't want too much attention. A little unforced error right there by the Sun Devils, but that Big 12 conference play is always brutal.
This is Gonzaga's largest lead, 2 points. Arizona State led early by 6.
It jumps out to me at this point, you know, we're over halfway through the first half, and just one offensive rebound for this Gonzaga Bulldog team. Arizona State's doing a good job cleaning up the glass.
Coming up Sunday afternoon, 10th ranked North Carolina State will host number 17 TCU at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Then on ESPN2, number 22 Louisville takes on Clemson. You can always watch both on the all-new ESPN app. Sunday, women's college hoops on ESPN and ESPN2. Mario Sansupuri, whose family originally from France, going back many generations, but now from Spain. Another player that has a lot of international experience playing in Spain. We see more and more, Corey, of the international presence in college basketball.
Yeah, what started off as a rarity has become a trend across college basketball. Power 5 conferences can't go anywhere without 1 or 2, maybe even 3 or 4 international players on almost every team.
Odom, well off the left side. Truitt, the offensive rebound, keeps the possession alive. Dangerous pass. He somehow got it through to Truitt, but couldn't finish it. We got the Zags here on a 7-0 run, looking to add to that.
Good looks for Arizona State. Those early shots were falling, but it's been a while.
Been over 3 minutes since Arizona State's found the buckets.
Offensive rebound, they get it inside to their go-to man.
EK, chop, Truitt, and contact and a foul. Arizona State was one to travel. Jop had the initial position, and then we saw Truitt come in, so he had 6-11 and 7-1 around Graham EK, who's 6'9". The start to the season for EK. Just went over 2,000 career points earlier in the week. You know, we were chatting with him at the shoot-around. I said, Graham, from what I hear, you're a really mild-mannered guy off the floor. What is it about being on the floor that brings out the animal in you? He said, I don't know, but it's in there, man.
Oh, he absolutely goes to war in between the lines and talks about his family members who were football players and kind of gave him that mentality. When you step in between the lines, you go hard, and that young man absolutely does. He requires a double team at all times. 9-0
run now. Zags with their largest lead of 6.
The Sun Devils have had the same looks they started the game with. They've just gone cold. Open shots, open opportunities.
3, well long. Missed by Bryce Ford. Arizona State staying cold. EK here, met by Pig. Now Jop has EK. Almost a carry there. Venters 3, got that one, missed one earlier. And another timeout for Arizona State, and Bobby Hurley not happy with lead official Darren George. Well, some of the talent that Mark Few has to work with. Of course, EK is preseason Mount West Player of the Year. Back when he was at Wyoming, Steele Venters, he was at Eastern Washington, Big Sky Player of the Year. Tyon Grant Foster last year, the WAC Player of the Year, and Braden Smith in the Patriot League. The transfer portal, you can hit, you can miss, and it looks like Mark Few's doing a lot of hitting.
It's a nice formula right there. You take some players of the years from some mid-major leagues and assemble them and make them team players on a great team nationally. That's a great coaching job right there.
Braden Smith, by the way, played at Colgate. Mark Few's team had to kind of survive the first 6-7 minutes of this game, Corey, because Arizona State really came out with a pretty good flurry to start this game.
Well, yeah, you feel like the adrenaline may have worn off a little bit, but it's been the Zags who have just kind of remained steady. Their shot has started falling, but most importantly, they're getting stops on the defensive end. It's been quite a while since the Sun Devils have had a made bucket.
Yeah, that's 10 in a row off the mark. Grant Foster looking ahead. He wants to get to the rim. This man wouldn't be denied. Missed the shot. EK couldn't get the putback, but keeps the possession alive. But the Zags do so well. A lot of offensive rebounding, and Wally just went right around Chop. Draws the contact, and he'll visit the line.
What's impressive about Gonzaga, they're doing it inside and out. The three ball is starting to fall. Now you're seeing guys attack the rim. They're getting to the free throw line, imposing their will physically on Arizona State.
And that's foul number 2 on Masamba Diop. A decision here for Bobby Hurley with 6 minutes to play in the first half. Looks like Alan Mukeba is going to check in for him after this first free throw for Jalen Worley. Worley, who played 3 years at Florida State, went to Virginia, then with Tony Bennett. About 3 weeks before the season start, decided to retire. That opened the transfer portal, and Worley transferred and has wound up with the Zags. So indeed, Diop comes out. Mukeba takes his place. So it looks like we may have seen the last of Diop here in this first half. Quite a journey for Jalen Worley. This is the second. So the lead is 10 for Gonzaga. Now Arizona State just trying to break a nasty scoring drought and missed their last 10 from the floor and haven't scored in almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, they need to get this into single digits just psychologically so they can go in at the half and feel a little bit better about how things have been going.
Mukeba down low, Truitt with the touch, foul on Vinners. Santiago Truitt, man from Argentina, another one of the international players, a transfer from the University of San Diego.
It's great big to big vision right here. You kind of get stuck with nowhere to go. You don't stand around and watch. Make a cut, great pass, finish with a little bit of contact, and maybe the break the Sun Devils need to get things going here in the final minutes of the first half.
Can't complete the three-point play. But they do break the scoring drought. It lasted nearly 5 minutes. Quick pass, Huff. He got Truitt spun around the wrong way and had the easy lay-in.
That's old school basketball. That's a nice set. Cross screen for the big man. Bring him right to the block. Easy 2 points.
7 first half points for Braden Huff. 3 ball up, Adams. Skying for the rebound, Worley. Jalen gives it up to Braden Smith. Lob! Finish! Tie-out! Braden Foster!
And Mark, these aren't set plays. These are just guys getting out in transition after defensive stops. You see the cohesion, the court vision. Took them a while to get started, but Gonzaga on a roll.
3 right side, long. Missed by Trevor Best. Worley. Yeah, the Zags seem to have found their way after taking that first blow from Arizona State to begin this night in Tempe. Tie-out ground faster again, getting to the rim and back to the line.
You know, you tell wing players in transition, run to the corner and then bounce back. But sometimes you run to the corner, make a cut, and you're playing with a great guard who can find you in transition. It doesn't get any easier than that. Behind the defense, put it up at the rim. Great finish.
Still over 4 minutes to go in this first half. We got Diop on the bench for Arizona State with 2 fouls. Here comes some wholesale changes for Arizona State. Ivovich comes back in, as does Pig Johnson and Bryce Ford. So Gonzaga is about to shoot their 12th free throw of the game. Arizona State, their only free throw attempt came moments ago. They missed from Truitt. Just like that, it is a 14-point lead for number 19 Gonzaga. A 19-2 run in just over 5 minutes. Here's the 3 from Ford. They were hitting the threes early, hit a big drought, and now Travis Ford finds the bottom of the net.
A welcome sight for Sun Devil fans. Finally, a 3 goes down, and there's a turnover right there by the Zags.
Grant Foster thought he had that ball knocked off his arm out of bounds, but it's going to be Arizona State ball when we come back to Tempe with under 4 to play in the first half.
I'm excited. I'm refreshing my app, and I appreciate the update on my cats. Thank you.
Seth. Watching out for you. 19-5 run for Gonzaga. That's highlighting our game summary. Arizona State led by as many as 6 early in this game. Big Johnson. Let's see who they're going to give that to. Give that to Huff. Pig trying to get to the rim. You know, we've speaking of defense for Gonzaga, there were stretches of the Oklahoma game and Creighton where their defense was locked down, where those two teams were having trouble just getting off shots. I don't think their defense is to that level so far tonight, because Arizona State is still getting some of those shots that they had early in the game. They're just not making some of those now.
No, it hasn't been the same type of defensive effort. You're talking about those games. Guys were in passing lanes. They were contesting shots. They were forcing turnovers. They were up 20, still trapping and getting deflections. Tonight, it's just really been a case of Arizona State going cold. They've had a lot of uncontested jump shots and even free throws like that. They just haven't been able to knock them down.
And Timeout Grant Foster, he just gets the ball and drives right to the rim and says, stop me if you can. Gets his own offensive miss. Now it's Huff. Wanting to back down Mukeba. Dig there by Pig. Huff gets the contact. And a foul on Alan Mukeba. That's his second.
Sun Devils have to make a decision. Huff one-on-one on the block. You feel like you got to send a second defender. He's so skilled, big guy with good mobility.
And he already got Jop on the bench with 2. McCabe now has 2. Fouls becoming an issue here with 3 minutes left in the first half for that front court of the Sun Devils.
And when you have situations like this, whether you're good at it or not, whether you practiced it or not, you start thinking about, do we choose some type of zone to protect our bigs for the remainder of the game?
That is not a traditionally Bobby Hurley thing, but desperate times call for desperate measures sometimes.
No, he's old school. He gets the kind of guys that can sit down and defend. He played that way for Coach Krzyzewski at Duke, a one-on-one, man-to-man coach. But every coach has a zone in his back pocket in case of emergency.
Case of emergency, break glass, go to zone. Mo Odom lost the handle. He got it knocked away by Warley, but he was fortunate. Bounced right to Mukeba. And he's fouled. A little slow getting up, gets some help from his teammates. McCabe had been banged up early this season. That was on a minutes restriction, but they're going to need some minutes out of him. Braden Huff, though, did just pick up his second foul. It's the first Zag to 2 here in the first half.
And that's what they have to do. They have to challenge them one-on-one. If you're Arizona State, you want to challenge the bigs, because sometimes that's your best defense, is trying to get a guy in foul trouble.
Wike is going to come in for Huff. Braden Huff, who's mainly been a guy coming off their bench past seasons, got a starting role this year. And Arizona State whittle into this 13-point deficit. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half from Tempe. They had the crowd in the game early. Gonzaga took them out of this game. 7 to shoot. Odom. Mukeba off balance, just flipped it up off the rim and almost got it to go. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2, but ASU has not been great from the stripe so far tonight.
Great hesitation, taking his time, good little drop pass, but right here you're going to see just a little bit down low. I know the Zag faithful don't like that call, but enough to get him to the line.
Swish first free throw make after Arizona State had missed their first 3 free throws of the night. Marcus Adams coming to the scorer's table, but apparently he wants to check in for the shooter Mukeba if he makes this second free throw. He does not. Timeout Grant Foster pulling down the rebound.
We talked about the missed three-pointers, a few blown easy shots, but Some missed free throws from the Sun Devils, leaving a lot of money on the table.
Timeout Grant Foster, who has 8 rebounds, 8 points, trying to go up, and it's challenged there by Truitt. Very physical style of play here, which we expect nothing less.
Yep. You know, based on the way this game started, you know the Sun Devils have the belief that they can compete. They just haven't executed much in the last 10 minutes, but I want to see them show some signs here defensively. There's a late whistle.
Ike got by Truitt initially, but the help defense from Adams came over, and the contact came from Adams. So it's 2 for Graham Ike.
Boy, he is such a load in the post, taking his time, getting to his left hand. And that's another situation that's exact same call at the other end. Little contact down low. That's the right call.
Zags 11 of 14 from the line. Emmanuel Inachinte will check in for Timeout Grant Foster. Bobby Hurley trying to find some answers here. He's got foul trouble to contend with. A couple of his big men. A double-digit deficit right now with 2 minutes left in the half. Ike knocks down the second.
Mark, you feel like if somehow Sun Devils were able to get to single digits at half, that would be a moral victory, given the fact they had the hot start and the Zags have taken control of the game since then. You just want to go into the locker room with some good, on a high note.
Adams going back to the line, so Arizona State just 1 of 5 from the line. Adams hits the first. These two teams playing for the second time in 2 years. Marcus Adams came from Cal State Northridge. Can't battle for it, and Truitt comes up with it. Hurley was battling for that loose ball. And we got to push it, another foul. This one on Worley. Number 2, by the way, on Jalen Worley. So he and Huff now with 2 fouls apiece on the Gonzaga side. Stewart hits the front end of that with 2:01 to play in the half.
Sun Devils having to play this stretch, as you mentioned, with their bigs in foul trouble.
And this Arizona State crowd trying to get their team back in this game. Worley.
They've got the mismatch inside if they can get it in.
There's Ike, spins on Adams, shoots and scores.
There's a lot of contact on that layup and no call. Ike barking at the ref a little. He wanted that foul.
7 points for Graham Ike here in the first half. He has a double-double in all 3 games to start the year. Pig just walked with it as he got going on that drive. They're going to say foul on the floor here.
Well, we've seen this before, straight video game mode. Get it to the big fella on the block. You know he's going to spin left. There's no defensive help. Need a little hang time. Nice move right there by Ike in the paint.
You know, you got the primary 2 big men, 2 starters for Gonzaga. Another free throw miss for ASU. Ike and Huff, who are both natural lefties down there in the low post.
I mean, the scouting report's very simple.
Yeah.
But it's harder to execute. The Zags do a great job of getting them the ball late in the possession in scoring position.
So 1 of 2 from the line. It's back Andrea Grimovich, who's playing now with 2 fouls. A little over a minute to go. It's a big possession here defensively for Arizona State. Down 11. EK over the top. We're going to get Truitt for that. First one on Santiago Truitt. Put Gonzaga right back at the line. You were saying, though, Corey, if Arizona State can get this into single digits at half, a little mental lift for them.
Yeah, it's a feel good because you know you've left a lot on the table. They're 5 of 11 from the free throw line. They've missed a ton of threes, and to be down to a great team like Gonzaga by single digits, it gives you that hope to come out and start the second half with that same energy. So it's just a lot that, a lot that can be corrected going forward. But you want to always try to go in the locker room on a high note. But if you're the Zags, you want to do the same thing. Can you push this out to 15, 16 points here in the last minute or so?
And EK knocking down both free throws. Pushed it up to a 13-point lead for the Zags with a minute to play. EK got a hand on it, but it was saved along the sideline by Adams. Truitt underneath, lays it in. It turned into a broken floor, and ASU able to capitalize.
Great vision by Odom to see the man wide open and make the play.
EK on Truitt. Goes to that left hand this time. Truitt gets a hand on it and blocks it away. Here comes Santiago. Kick, 3. Boy, if you're ASU, you were thinking if that ball goes down right there, we got the crowd back.
The crowd was ready to explode. You're going to see the Zags, a little strategy here. They want to finish with a strong shot.
The use it or lose it timeout for the Zags. We're back in 30 seconds.
Appetizers I'm going to consume watching like 9 straight hours of football tomorrow. It's not going to be a good day for my diet. I can tell you that right now.
You've trained well. You can cheat on your diet for a day.
Onion rings, potato skin, whatever they got. I'm just going to sit there and watch football all day.
EK. Oh, Graham EK hammers it down. That may be the exclamation point on the first half. Oh, a little long, but Graham EK taking over late in the half. 13-point lead for the Zags at the intermission. EK had the last 7 points of the half.
Unbelievable play right there to finish on the high note.
Game summary, EK 11 points. He scored the last 7 of the first half for the Zags, and Gonzaga is going to have the basketball to start half number 2 from Tempe. EK moving screen, and Darren George says that's an offensive foul, and foul number 2 on EK.
Got to be completely stationary when you set these screens. We see this a lot. They do a little extra lean to get a piece of the guard, and of course the guards sell the foul. Hollywood.
There's an art to it for doing it well. Odom, 3 is up. The 3 ball just not falling as consistently as it did early in the game for ASU. Job, who came out with 6 minutes left in the first half due to 2 fouls. Offensive rebound, Huff swung around. Bounces off the right side for Smith, and another offensive board. That's vintage Zags. Well, they've been averaging 40 rebounds a game the first 3 games. And now it's travel. They had Odom digging on the front side for EK, and he walks with it.
Yeah, you see the attention he's going to attract in the second half. They're not going to stand around and watch the Graham EK show any longer. He'll be seeing 2 defenders most of the game.
Grimovich. Another 3 miss, so back-to-back 3 misses for ASU to start this second half. And Adam Miller, the former Sun Devil, puts up his first shot of the half, and that's off the mark.
You can really tell Miller wants to get one to drop. Being a Sun Devil, former Sun Devil playing here.
Hurley 1 for 4 in the first half with 2 points. And there is Rumovich. An important shot for ASU to get it down to 10.
I think it's obvious what Coach Hurley's message was at halftime. Keep shooting. They've come out, put up 3 consecutive threes.
And Chinte off the mark. Raced ahead there by Bryce Ford into the front court.
Would be a single-digit lead if the Sun Devils manage to score on this possession. That may mean something to this crowd.
Odom gives it up. John rolls it over the front rim, and it's into single digits.
You take a glance over at Mark Few and his staff. They're emotionless. They want to see their guys play through this mini run and establish themselves. They've been dominating for the majority of this game.
Huff over Truitt. Got it. And a Gonzaga answer from the redshirt junior Braden Huff.
You know, Mark, that's coaching too. Not calling a timeout. Letting your big guys do what they're supposed to do. Letting your leaders lead by example. Big bucket there by Huff to quiet the crowd.
That was a guy on the sidelines who's been here 27 years. Just blank stare, go play basketball. EK rebounds. Pull up in a Chinte. And a one and done that time for the Zags.
That was a great pass and an easy look. You know, he wishes he could have that one back.
Oh, quick shot from Mo Odom from well behind the line. Here's Huff again. This time some help defensively from Odom. Quick ball movement to the right side. Smith. They want the bucket. And a blocking foul on ASU.
Interesting right here. Mark Few wants the continuation, but that is not the rule. The continuation, you have to continue in 1 foot, but if you come to that jump stop and put that second foot down, that foul's on the floor. And right there, he gathered himself after the contact.
As you mentioned, that's what's changed this year. That rule has been updated for the 2025-26 season.
If it's contact and a jump stop, it's no good. But if you go contact with one leg in the shooting motion, you're okay.
In a Chinte, a whistle away from the ball. They're going to count the bucket. The foul's going against the Zags. Know who?
That's a tough foul. That's his 3rd foul. Picking it up on the offensive end of the court.
Well, 2 of those 3 fouls have come here inside the first 3.5 minutes of the second half. Got a call on a moving screen to begin the half, and now that one there puts EK on the bench. It's a 10-point game as EK goes to the bench with those 3 fouls. Oh, Odom, skip pass, and it was in the air a while, and Hurley got a handle on it. Couldn't get the steal. And now from the backside, Braden Smith picking the pocket of the cable, but couldn't quite collect it. And that's going to take us to the under 16 timeout. So EK on the bench with 3 fouls, but Gonzaga's up 10 early second half. Son Steven, and we have that new coaches challenge rule implemented. We've not had that used so far here tonight.
No, we have not, and it's going to be interesting because players always think the refs get it wrong, so they're motioning to the coach to take a look, and now coaches have to think about taking a look. Great block.
Timeout. Grant Foster can do really everything on the floor, offensively and defensively.
When you get beat, you can't give up on a play, and right there, good elevation, good clean block out of bounds. See if the Sun Devils can attack the rim with EK out for Gonzaga.
Neither team off to a very good shooting start here in the second half. Gonzaga 1 of 7. They've missed all 4 3-point attempts. Bobby Hurley's team 2 of 6 to start the half. 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. Well, we mentioned the coach's challenge, which we haven't had used. They were checking the clock on this one. The main impetus is to really speed up games because we have a lot of, especially late in games, going to the table. Off the inbounds, Mukeba. The Zags foul. They put that on Braden Huff. So that's his third. 3 now on Braden Huff. EK and Huff each now with 3. We mentioned the foul issues that Arizona State had with their big men up front in the first half. Now it's the Zags who have that issue. Ford rims around, no good. And Tyon Grant Foster, outlet pass. Here's Smith.
Well, you talk about some missed opportunities, some point-blank looks for the Sun Devils in a game where you just feel like they need to get the crowd back into this.
And they're on the cusp of that a few times. Got them in it a little bit when they got it down to 8. Santiago Truitt earned the foul there for ASU, and now he's going to come out and Jop will return. Oh! Right off the inbounds.
Great execution by the Zags. Once again, Sun Devils get caught sleeping on the same inbounds play from the first half.
Double-digit scoring now for Tyon Grant Foster, who's a rebound away from a double-double.
Oh, he's such an explosive player.
Isn't he?
Attacks the rim, really makes things happen.
Odom, big, couldn't quite get it over the rim, and guess who it was that prevented that? Tyon Grant Foster. Tyon, ball fake. Oh, Mukeba would have none of that. He has that black by jump. Here comes ASU. 3. Cut it to 9, and it turned into a block party that last couple of sequences down the floor.
Right there, the Sun Devils showing a little conviction in the lane. You're going to see some great anticipation right there. A good block, and then you follow it up with a second block, and then they're off to the races. And when you've got that kind of momentum, you take the first good look you can find, and they knock down a 3.
A 3 from Odom has cut that to a 9-point deficit for Arizona State. Out of the Zags timeout, 14:44 to play. Still a lot of basketball to go here in Tempe tonight as Odom to 9 points. All 3 of his field goal makes have been 3s. Grant Foster just got hit by the court monster there, just fell down, got back up, and now here comes Odom. He's looking for Pig. Johnson wants to get it underneath, and Mukeba fouled from behind.
Boy, Johnson so fast in transition. Nice little shovel pass to set up the big man, but kind of a quick shot by Gonzaga on that. After they beat the press, you know, you got a 9-point lead on the road, plenty of time, but that's the way they play.
So EK is about ready to check back in. Understand Superi. Smith, actually Smith goes out. Huff's going to come out. So EK back in the game with 3 fouls. 2 of those coming here in this second half. Mukeba. We got a lane violation there.
Just whether it's missed free throws or unforced errors like that, Arizona State just not cashing in on every opportunity. And right now with EK on the floor with 3, you know, he's an experienced player, and obviously you trust him to play and not pick up a 4th. But if you're the Sun Devils, you want to test him right now and see what you can get away with.
Mario sent Superi. Gets it back from Venters. Tyon Grant Foster. 5 to shoot. Sent Superi. Trying to make something happen. The seas parted. Couldn't finish it, though. Odom, another three is well long. And a long rebound deflected all the way out to Pig Johnson.
Coach Hurley drawing up a play, trying to get that fourth foul. He calls an ISO.
Mukeba, faded by Grant Foster. 2, 1, and a whistle before the shot. Foul on the floor, no bucket.
I tell you, Mark, Sun Devils starting to feel themselves. They feel like they can take guys in the one-on-one. They feel like they're right at the brink of turning this game around. Coach Hurley out there almost on the floor with his guys yelling instructions because he knows every possession counts.
Mukeba again on the drive, and he gets more contact from Tyon Grant Foster. That's 2 on Tyon. To your point, Corey, I don't think it's been so much Arizona State being outplayed in that it's been their own self-destruction in some parts of the game.
Just missed opportunities. I mean, they're getting wide open shots that aren't falling. They've missed a lot of free throws. They've had some costly turnovers, but you got to give the Zags a lot of credit. Hostile environment on the road, first true road game. They've answered with big plays. They've played great defense. They've knocked down their shots, and that's why they're up by 8 right now.
Ford pull up the lefty, lets it go. And here come the Sun Devil fans. But this crowd is back in the game in Tempe.
This is the same call they've been whistling it against Gonzaga. When you're on the move, he doesn't extend the arm. That is not an offensive foul, although it looks bad. But right here, got the ball on a string, pull up from 3, big shot.
And Grant Foster got out of control, but apparently got some help to the floor with a hold. Both pleading their case to official DJ Nelson.
Mark Hughes going to take some time to talk to his player, get him to calm down. Critical moment in this game.
3 fouls on Mukeba for ASU now. Foul issues mounting on both sides.
Guys got to be smart. The whistle is going to be tight for the remainder of the game. They've been calling it on both sides. If you're moving, it's a blocking foul, end of discussion. So guys got to sit down, move their feet, and play good defense. Not a good shot right there.
The catch and shoot did not draw iron. Gonzaga now 2 for 13 from the field in this half.
Graham Ike may have saved the big play right there with his foot because Odom was splitting that trap and his eyes were wide open. He had shooters and a big man under the basket, but Ike quick to kick that ball.
ASU is pulled within 5. This is as close as they've been in quite a while. Dangerous to the eluded Vinters. Odom. Pig before the shoot. Blind pass. Collected. Job shoots. Can't get it to go. Mario Sansupari. Up 1 foot. No. There's Ike who's fouled.
Graham Ike there to clean up what was an ill-advised shot. And he's just so big and strong. He's able to get in there and collect that missed shot and get it up to the rim.
So when the opposing team here shoots towards that end, you got the curtain of distraction.
You got the famous.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't.
Famous.
You didn't add that adjective. Thank you, sir.
I don't know who has the statistics on that curtain, if it's actually effective or not, but student section is unbelievable here.
EK unfazed, sinks it. Takes the lead up to 7 with 12 minutes to play. EK knocking on the door of another double-double. He's had one in each game so far. Odom lets it go, and that one kicks off the left side. And Achinte, high pass, and Venters traveled it. He was just trying to stay in bounds and wound up walking. That's going to take us to a timeout. Number 9 here late tonight. Been down by as many as 14. Led early by 6, but really had been behind most of this game.
We talked about that early on. In this building, this Sun Devil team has pulled off many an upset. You talk about the energy, the coaching, the emotion that these guys play with. They were a couple of made buckets away from being sitting here in a tie game, but love to see the fight. It'll be interesting to see the response out of the timeout from Gonzaga.
Hold by Waylon Worley. So Tyon Grant Foster, a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, leading the Zags in scoring with 10. You have Truitt with 10 rebounds for Arizona State. But it's been balanced scoring. Gonzaga has played 9 players, 8 have scored. ASU 6 of 12 from the line tonight. I think it's 7 of 13. ASU's played 10 deep, 8 different scores. Tyon Grant Foster with 10. EK leading the way with 13 and Huff with 11. Both those players been dealing with some foul issues. It is a 2-possession game right now if you're ASU. Can you get a stop with 11 minutes to go? Venters pass deflected by Pig Johnson. And with some help from Jop, here comes Pig. He feeds Jop, who slipped a little bit. There's EK on his hip. Best trying to get downhill. He loses the handle and turns it over to the Zags. Slow getting up now. Best needs some help. Best is going to check out. Had a chance there again to get even closer, down 6.
Yeah, a game never comes down to one play, and a lot of people get hung up on the final plays of the game, but you see it's an accumulation of, does the ball bounce your way? Do you capitalize on opportunities? Still a lot of time left in this game for both teams. Zags have to settle down, get back to their inside game, and getting defensive stops.
Worley, they take it in the paint. Kick out in Achinte, threes. Got it. That breaks the scoring drought. They've gone over 5 minutes without a field goal for the Zags.
Great patience, execution, inside touch, outside jumper. Talk about how balanced this team is. They have good bigs, and they got guys that can shoot. It's a winning formula.
Midway through this second half, Jop. Pig lowers his shoulder and draws the contact from Adam Smith. Adam Miller.
Patience, teamwork. He's in no man's land. Sees his teammate at the top of the key. Great kick out. Nothing but nylon. Good execution right there by the Bulldogs.
Achinte. Into the corner and picked up there by the Zags.
Low in the front end of a 1-and-1.
Hurley, and it partially blocked by Chop. And we have a technical assessed on Truitt when Arizona State looked like they had numbers going the other way.
And I think they got him in the scrum after the loose ball.
Chris Pacey was on the baseline there, made the call. He's explaining to Bobby Hurley.
I think this may have been a little bit of language standing over the player. Yep, right there. Taunting will not be tolerated. It's an emphasis in the game this year. Looking directly at the player, saying some choice words. The official standing right there. That's open and shut case.
So Ike, who had a kind of a weird technical called on him the last time they played. I'm sure Zags fans are familiar with that. Maybe it's a little karma that Ike now shoots the 2 free throws and knocks him down on the technical a game later. Yeah, we couldn't hear audio, obviously, but body language and where he was directing his commentary, it certainly looked like, and yeah, he was going to get a technical.
And if you're Arizona State, it's a shame because you get a good stop and you're in transition. And Gonzaga ends up with 2 free throws. Ike calmly knocks them both down. And I'm very impressed with Gonzaga, the way that they've responded to the runs and the emotions. They haven't lost their head. They've been shaky at times, but they seem to find a way to get back in control.
Free throws, 7 of 15 for Arizona State. And really that whole last sequence started with a missed front end. You got to stop, but then a technical when you might have had numbers going the other way. And just kind of more of the self-inflicted wounds for ASU. And Mukebe, an air ball from 3. ASU had gotten it down to a 2-possession game, but number 19 Gonzaga has pulled the lead back into double digits. Ike and Joe, the dig there by Odom, and able to create a turnover. Mukeba trying to get by Inachinte, down low, Jop hesitating, and Ike took advantage. Here come the Zags. Sansupere fouled, now Ribovic, he just got teed. Bobby Hurley got technical. And over the last minute or so, Arizona State has just lost control.
A lot has gone on in the past couple of trips up and down the floor.
Okay, hits the second. Let's take another look at the sequence here.
And you got to know, Bobby Hurley's going to want that call, but the refs say that block was all ball. That would have been Ike's 4th foul, huge in this game with over 9 minutes remaining. And he wouldn't be Bobby Hurley if he wasn't all over the refs for that, because that's your job. You got to let the refs know on a play like that. You call that foul, you don't call that foul. It's not a big deal either way, in my opinion, because it's one of those bang-bang situations where the guy goes to the floor and maybe you call it, maybe you don't, but you're going to see the nice drop-off. Hesitation. Oh, that's brutal. Blown call. Hit him right across the chest, hit him on the arm. Coach Hurley, absolutely right on that. Missed call by the officials, but like I said, it's so fast.
Yeah, great look from our crew there along the baseline, but from that look, a lot of contact, obviously.
And we always have the benefit of a great crew
we do,
that shows us things that the naked eye kind of misses. But Coach Hurley right to take that technical. Would have been EK's 4th foul, but instead, the Zags march on, get to the free throw line, knock down a couple of shots.
Bumps it up to a 14-point lead, 59-45, Gonzaga. 8-0 run here for the Zags. Odom got it stuck in no-man land in the air, but shot couldn't finish with the kiss, and it's Gonzaga ball. Well, we've seen Arizona State just hang around, get close, got within 2 scores, couple possessions. And then there's always seems to be the twist of fate, a little self-destruction sometimes, and now the hill to climb is even tougher.
Well, we knew that this team was going to fight. All Bobby Hurley coached teams are going to fight and be scrappy. What I was surprised to see is they created a lot of their opportunities offensively to knock down threes. They got to the free throw line. The door has been open. They just haven't been able to step through it.
Have not. Well, we do have an ASU challenge. We talked about the fact that we had not seen the new rule come into play tonight. Now we have our first here with 8:37 to play. Now the action has been so fast and furious and physical. We're trying to nail down just exactly what Bobby Hurley is challenging here. They're challenging the out of bounds. So the new rule, you have to have a timeout. Arizona State does. They have 1 left. If they lose this challenge, they will lose the timeout. I think this is what they're looking at. The ball is going to go out of bounds. Who is off that at? As it touched the baseline, was that off Sansupari?
It looks like his hand is on the inside, and he may have been the last person to touch it.
Yeah, I think there's enough to overturn that. Or
yeah, Odom doesn't even look like he touches the ball at all. You think he touches his forearm, and that's it.
I think the look we just saw should be enough to give Arizona State possession in the front court. The way Darren George is asking DJ Nelson here. Here, there's the new coach's challenge rule for this year. 1 challenge per team. If you're successful, you keep it. You get 2 max.
On the floor stands. Gonzaga down.
Ball's going to stand. Darren's going to come over and say that it's going to stay with Gonzaga. Did we see enough that we thought? I mean, that looked like Arizona State ball.
You know, I take my readers off when I start calling the game. So what I see, don't ask me. I got to put my readers back on, but it did look like it was off of his hand. I didn't think Odom touched the ball.
The Zags keep possession here. And up 14. Equaled their largest lead of the game, even though they have missed 6 of their last 7 from the field. Oriel Sansupari over the top for EK. Get that on Jop. That's number 3, Osamba Jop. who picked up his second foul with about 6 minutes left in the first half and sat the rest of the half. It's going to take Alan Mukaba's spot on the floor for ASU. EK's been busy at the line with shooting all the technicals and going to the line when he gets fouled. He's 10 of 12 from the stripe tonight. He's attempted 12 of the 26 free throws that the Zags have taken so far tonight. And this is the front end. It's volleyballed around and winds up with Jock. Well, ASU has 4 players with 3 fouls. Zags have 3. Nobody with 4 yet. They needed a 3. ASU did from Odom. Now he's all tangled up. Well, sent Super Reed that they play on.
Nice one-on-one move right there by Odom. Nothing the defense can do about a play like that. Just a dribble step back.
Then Super Reed kicks. Hurley finds it at Chinte. And he was looking to deliver a pass and traveled. So it's going to take it to a timeout. So the game's down to 11 for ASU. And they'll have the ball when we come back to Tempe.
Yeah, this is everything you want. Hostile environment, great team coming after you. Your guys having to stand up and show what they can do. You got foul trouble with your big man, but he's being a leader out there. These are the bumps and bruises that you want your team to get early in the season, because make no mistake about it, their goal is a national championship. A lot of people, including myself, think they're already a top 10 team in the country.
And that may be the case if they hang on to win this game when the AP comes out on Monday, moving up from 19. Give and go, back to Jones.
Got a player shaking up under the rim.
It's Tyon Grant Foster who gets to his feet.
He rotated over. He was the second defender on that roll. What a mid-air collision. He got the worst of it. He's had a monster game.
Yes.
When you're weak side defense and you see that roll, you got to get over there quickly. He's a little bit late. Looks like they banged knees or possibly shins, but either way, they look like it hurt.
Zags up 9. A little over 7 minutes to go. EK. Jop on his back. Wants to go to that left hand, but that time Jop was quicker to the draw. There's a 3 from the right corner. Grant Foster able to come over. This time it's Odom who hits the deck. Ford waits for his point guard to get back up. You're looking to find Jop, who is being fronted by EK. Braden Huff will check in for Worley. So you got EK and Huff in the game together again.
And that's what you want to do with your coach view. Put your team in a position where you can ride with your 2 best bigs for the remainder of the game. And there's an unforced error right there. Odom loses the handle on a critical possession for ASU.
And then adds to it by committing the foul. Well, coming up this Sunday afternoon, 10th ranked North Carolina State will host number 17 TCU, 1 Eastern on ESPN. Then more women's hoops on ESPN2. Number 22 Louisville taking on Clemson. And you can always watch both on the all new ESPN app. Great women's hoops on Sunday. For Adam Miller, it's a return here to Arizona State, a school that, yes, he only spent 1 year. Last year, he did get his degree. Picked up a liberal arts degree from here at Arizona State. And the free throws push it back to 11. Started all 30 games for ASU last year. He was their best three-point shooter and led them in minutes as well. He hit 43% of his threes. That's an easy flush for Sabajak.
Great execution. They clear the entire backside for that pick and roll, so there's no help. Good pass, strong finish.
Miller, that's what he did so well last year for ASU, and he hit 43% of those type of shots.
Boy, was that a big shot right there from Miller.
Odom, shot, ran into Huff, can't get the shot to fall.
We talked about Miller earlier. He comes off with all the confidence in the world, little catch and shoot. Defenders a little bit late. Right here, great pass, no rotation. Big fella knows what to do with it.
Well, free throws have been a nightmare tonight for Arizona State. 7 of 16. They hit 72% of their free throws through the first couple of games. Well, you contrast that with Gonzaga at the line, 23 of 29. They almost attempted 30 free throws and a rebound for EK. So he's one rebound away from the fourth consecutive double-doubles to begin the season, which no one has ever done to begin the season in the Mark Few era at Gonzaga. Miller trying it again, and he puts it on replay back on his old home floor.
A lot of time left, but those might have been the finishing touches delivered by Mr. Miller.
It gives them their largest lead of the game. Odom.
Well, they call this a heat check. When you knock one down, the second one, that look is free. Miller comes off this time, going to the left, and he is feeling it. Two big shots.
8 straight points from Miller. Gonzaga. And Foster will check in for Huff. Just fouled out. So Huff fouls out at the 5:07 mark for Gonzaga.
Solid night for Huff, but going to foul out. Go to the bench with the team up 13, 14 points. And hope they can ride it out for the final 5 minutes.
Chop going to get a rest here with 5:07 to go. Coach Hurley probably wanting to give him a little blow to the under 4 timeout, and then come right back in for the conclusion of this game.
For Arizona State, you can't trade buckets anymore. You've got to ratchet things up on defense, go a little bit quicker on offense, and obviously the three-point shot. Can they get hot from beyond the arc?
Miller, can he keep it hot? Off the mark that time. Mo Odom, spin move on Smith. Nice pass, it works, and laid in by Big Johnson. The 2 guards combo one up there.
A two-man game. Pig Johnson not staying in the corner, cutting to the rim. Here, Gonzaga, you don't want to get stagnant.
EK, no shot, foul on the floor.
Talked about picking up the tempo, pushing the ball over the final 5 minutes, and right here, good little one-on-one move, but the craftiness, the back cut, Miller asleep at the wheel. gives up 2. The real issue, Mark, is how many stops can the Sun Devils get down in the final 4 minutes of this game? Can they get enough stops?
They need a bunch. You're at the 4:08 mark, so you're almost to the under 4 timeout. Bobby Hurley elects to put Jop right back in. Okay, but by the way, fouled out for ASU, so that's why Jop came right back in. Both free throws. 12 of 15 tonight from the line for Graham Ike.
Well, how good has he been tonight? One-on-one, defensive, out there playing with 3 fouls, has yet to pick up his 4th.
And couldn't get a rebound there. He's 1 shy of 10, which would give him a 4th straight double-double. Lob. Timeout Grant faster. Foster can't come down with it. Here comes Truitt. In transition, kick, Pig Johnson. 3's on the way. Got it.
Oh, and Mark Few is irate. He did not care for that shot selection. The alley-oop that failed and resulted in a transition 3. And here we are back at 10 points.
With 3.5 minutes to go. Can ASU get another stop? Ike directing traffic. He's like, let me go one-on-one. Backing down. Jop. It scores. He just said, I am taking control right here.
I don't use the word unstoppable much in college basketball, but there's no other word you can use tonight.
Over the top for Jop. And over to the Zags. Timeout. This is the under 4 with under 3 minutes to go now left in this game.
Arizona State trying desperately to make some things happen from beyond the arc. They knock down the 3, but the Zags answer at the other end, staying in front.
And he's 1 rebound shy of a 4th consecutive double-double.
You talk about the formula, the equation for an upset. Usually it's energy, big plays, somebody doesn't play up to their level. But Graham Ike's been that steady hand for the Zags tonight to possibly avoid an upset in the way that he's played out here, getting to the free throw line, being consistent throughout the entire game.
They use a timeout to stop it with 2:49 to go. Well, what a men's college basketball lineup this Sunday on ESPN. And the all-new ESPN at #1 Houston takes on #22 Auburn at 3 Eastern. Then Memphis hosts UNLV at 8:30 Eastern. And Miami squares off against 10th-ranked Florida in Jacksonville. On Sunday on ESPN. Well, Gonzaga, they will take on Southern Utah Monday. That's their next game. That's a game you can see on ESPN+. ASU will also be on ESPN+ on Monday against Georgia State. Gonzaga trying to go to 4-0. And if they hang on, who knows where they will wind up in the AP top 25. I seem to think there's a pretty good chance they're going to wind up in the top 10.
I think without a doubt you got to place them inside the top 10. They're clearly a team that belongs there given the wins that they've already posted.
Ike able to corral it and then travel.
Well, the recipe is turnovers and 3s. That's what you need over the final 2.5 minutes. So you get the turnover. Bobby Hurley urging his guys to go quick here. Can you manufacture a run in the final 2 minutes? That would be epic.
Johnson able to get it to the rim. Back down to 10. Still a little over 2 minutes to go. In the front court for Worley. And needing to foul, they do so, and stopping the clock. 2:06 left.
This young man has one of the quickest first steps I've seen right there. You see him just cross over, slice in between. Good strong move to the cup.
Gives Big Johnson, by the way, 10 points tonight. Puts him in double digits.
Hurley has one of the most interesting free throws I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of basketball. You take a look at his method. He lines up, he takes his deep breath, but then watch the mechanics.
Offensive rebound. Tyon Grant Foster ran into Truitt. Loose ball. Gathered up by Inocente. Gonzaga is able to keep possession after the miss. But you're right, that's a very unique setup for a free throw. And they need to foul and do so this time with Mo Odom.
Mo Odom with the kicked ball. Ball will stay with the Zags.
It was a kick. You got it.
20 to shoot. You just wonder, like, they fouled on the previous possession, but right now they're not.
DK, one dribble, gives it up. Tyon Grant Foster, and Justin scores.
Another key player for the Zags tonight. Monster game, double-double right there. Big bucket.
Double-digit night for Grant Foster. He's got a dozen, and ASU turns it over.
You know, EK attracts so much attention in the one-on-one, but an unselfish play gives it up to the slashing teammate. Basketball is just so much easier when you've got that active, dominant big man. Guys get open shots, guys get layups, guys get offensive rebounds. EK, an unselfish big that can pass the ball as well.
Gonzaga content to eat some clock here. A three from Adam Miller. Take it away, Tyon Grant Foster. Play kind of sums up the night for ASU.
Bad bounces and missed opportunities. You're absolutely right. Sun Devils have played a very good game. They created a lot of opportunities. They just couldn't cash in. As there's an example of a wide open dunk.
And Foster took a blow to the face there, but picked up a foul as well. Tyon Grant Foster can do so many things really well on the basketball court, offensively and defensively.
Oh, yeah, he's a utility weapon. He can do it all. You saw him play great defense, making blocks at the rim, taking the ball strong to the basket, getting dunks, getting free throws. Just a great all-around glue guy for Gonzaga.
There's a double-double tonight. 14, a dozen rebounds for Tyon, who's going to come out most likely for the rest of the night, finish his night with that double-double.
You talk about what does it take, and I know this is a long way out, but what does it take to win a national championship? Well, first thing, you got to have depth. And right now, the Zags, they go 9 deep in their first true road game, and they get productivity out of every player that's been on the floor.
What did Mark Few learn about his team tonight?
Well, he learned his guys can take a punch. And he learned that he probably has one of the best big men in the country, which he probably already knew. But he's been successful for so long. He knows where this team needs to be. He knows at what stage of the season do we need to answer what questions. And tonight, I think the question that got answered was, you know, does our game travel out of Washington? And I think it does. I think they put up 76, may, you know, hit 80 points here on the road against a very scrappy Arizona State team. So he knows their style of basketball can travel. He knows they can play in hostile environments, and they'll have more throughout the season. But this is a good, solid win for this Gonzaga club.
And, of course, non-conference, they schedule up. They got Alabama coming up in Vegas. They got Kentucky coming up in Nashville. UCLA and Seattle. where they head into their final season in the West Coast Conference before going to the reimagined Pac-12. I mean, EK is 1 rebound shy of a double-double. He may not get that. If he was able to, he would be the first player in the Mark Few era with 4 double-doubles to start a season. Knocked around, and I thought EK was going to maybe get that rebound, but it's going to be Gonzaga ball. They'll talk about this, and now they're going to change it. They're going to say Arizona State ball.
And I don't think EK knows or cares about the stat. He just goes hard. He goes hard, and you know, someone will probably tell him at the end when they look over the box score. But that young man's motor is undeniable.
Ooh, EK had the rebound, but a foul. That would have been the double-double if there was no whistle. Two shots here for Ford. As you saw NFL Live coming up next year on ESPN2. There is Sports Center on ESPN as well going on right now.
You know, Mark, if you're Arizona State, you've got to know that you can play with some of the top teams in the country after this game. Even though you came up short, there were opportunities for them to steal this. And if you're the Zags, business as usual, tough road game, hostile environment, but they come out on top.
So a 12-point win for Gonzaga as they win it 77-65. Gonzaga improves to 4-0. And Arizona State drops to 2-1. And another big night for the Zags as Graham EK fell 1 rebound shy of his 4th consecutive double-double. Another fun one. Thanks, Corey.
Great game, great effort. Big win for the Zags.
For Corey and our great crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks so much for sharing this one with us. Good night from Tempe.